How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. As you guys can tell, we're going to be talking about everything Hbar, but first and foremost, just want to say, happy Saturday wherever you are around the world. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Speaking about that, obviously on the weekends, we do tend to see CME futures close. So, obviously that is something that, we always need to keep in mind when we are analyzing, crypto markets. But as we can see across the board right now, a lot of red. We're seeing actually 5 to 11% for some coins. So it is quite a red day right now, which I'm sure no one really wants to see. But let's not forget, what has been happening for the markets over the course of the last, few weeks. That is something that, a lot of people overlook, but we don't want to be overlooking that right now. So as far as Hbar is concerned, it's seeing a little bit of a minor pullback, about 2.6% in USD. And on Bitcoin side, it's down about 1.8%. Price is currently sitting at 18 cents right now. Market cap $7.6 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about 100 million. And again, going back to what I've been saying, every single update as of now, recently, I would say over the last 1 to 2 months, you are seeing the 24-hour trading volume really low, considering the project Hbar, and that just sheds a light on how much retail interest there really is. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. But look at this, guys. Just a few hours ago, we reached yet again another yearly high for the dominance itself at 65%. Why are we talking about the dominance so much? Because this really shows you where the money really is going in the crypto markets. Yes, market was able to reclaim back above that $3 trillion mark, but majority of that 3 trillion is actually in Bitcoin alone. So altcoins still are lagging behind Bitcoin in the grand scheme of things, and dominance is not showing any signs of slowing down. Of course, this makes sense, this major wick, because we did see Bitcoin seeing a little bit of a minor pullback, nothing too crazy, but we did see Bitcoin see a little bit of a retracement. As you can see this for yourself, we did make our way up to $98,000. Your boy predicted this exact move, but since then we have seen a little bit of a minor pullback, which of course, in return caused the dominance to increase. And of course, that makes a lot of sense as to why we're seeing a lot of red across the market right now. But with that being said, let's take a look at, what's really happening with Hbar's price right now. So Hbar has been on the steady rise. Obviously, last month, we hit the high of 20 cents. We still have not reached that, even though, Bitcoin had a major breakout. Bitcoin is sitting at higher levels compared to last month. Of course, a lot of people are probably wondering, why is the price of Hbar not at those levels? This is the answer to that right here. This right here is the answer to that. Perfect. Simple as that. So if you're looking at Hbar, let's actually kind of zoom out and see where we are. So we're being supported by, that resistance that was coming in our way as we were breaking towards the upside. As I've told you guys before, that exact same level is being retested a few different times. We've been supported by this range a few times, as you can see. But if we don't hold around this range, do expect the 17.5 cents retest to be, coming ahead once again. That's only about a 2.58% move towards the downside, so nothing crazy. But we have seen that retest on 24th of April. We saw that retest on the 30th of April, and we could actually see that happening right now as well, if we don't hold this support. So, in a grand scheme of things, Hbar is still in this upwards trend. There's no secret about that. Obviously, that gets invalidated if we drop below the 12.5 cents. But in order for us to do that, that itself would be, quite a sharp drop. That's a 31% drop. I don't see that happening, considering, what we're seeing happening with the price of Bitcoin. But of course, we always need to be prepared for anything. This market, anything can happen, but so far so good. Loving how Bitcoin is holding up. Of course, today's the weekend. Obviously that's something that we need to factor in. Thank you for all your support. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button, and I'll see you tonight. We'll talk about Hbar then, and we're going to be back on schedule. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.